Howdy, and welcome to another wonderful trash take. Today we're talking about DOGE. DOGE is the Department of Government Efficiency, brainchild by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramsway. It was originally something Donald Trump heavily campaigned on, despite what the news is saying. Donald Trump heavily campaigned on creating a Department of Government Efficiency. Now that it's actually come to fruition, the government's been, a lot of Democrats have been absolutely freaking out, saying this is unconstitutional, you can't do this. He actually, in fact, can do this. It's within the president's jurisdiction in a complete authority to control the finances, basically, for departments of the government that report directly to him, which they all do. So anyone saying otherwise is stupid and misleading. Not even going to bother arguing with you. Not even going to bother with that. And yes, Elon Musk was heavily campaigned by Donald Trump. No, Elon Musk doesn't have any formal power. He's just the head of the department for the most part. He's a contractor that's being brought in to supervise this. And all transactions that are denied go through Donald Trump. This is all stuff Trump has openly admitted and Elon's openly admitted. And the news is, for some reason, continuing to lie about this repeatedly. Why are they lying about it? Because they're undercovering corruption. A lot of money laundering, a lot of slush funds, a lot of people just getting paid for being friends or having their NGOs absolutely get millions upon millions of government contracts to basically do jack shit. That's what this is. But I've been waiting for this for a while. There have been a lot of receipts that Elon's been talking about posting, and there's been some more of people wanting to see him all collected in one area. And DOGE Twitter account has finally done that. The DOGE Twitter account today finally put out that their website is live, which if you go to it, actually pulls up for the most part just their tweets right now. But they do have a savings tab where they're going to collate all of the data that they have so far from each different department where they've cut funds and what they've gone to. And from what I've been hearing in the most recent conference Trump did, it's been crazy stuff, like $36,000 on 20 coffee cups at the Pentagon, shit like that, where it's an absurd amount of money that's clearly just money laundering or paying off your friends or having your friends be the supplier. Oh man, a 2,000% markup because the government's buying it. That shit's the reason why American debt's getting so high and the reason inflation's only going to get worse. I truly believe America is close to a collapsing point if the debt doesn't change, so I'm actually happy what Elon's doing. But this also has a nice little other tab to show you all of the government branches, how many people work for the government, how long they've worked for the government, what their average salary is, and how much they get paid total each year, which is crazy. It's a lot. It's a lot. Average salary, average age, y'all can't see this, 47. So a lot of old people working in the government. And then it breaks it down by each different department if you want to look at them, with all the different heads and all the different people that report to it. So you can break it down from every single department. If you want your information, this is pretty much the best direct source I've seen so far. And it shows an actual breakdown of the government branches. But this is all under the presidential branch, which is why he has full authority to do this. For some reason, people seem to think the president can't control the people under the president, which is autistic. But they also talks about all the different regulations that are currently in Congress. That is, he's also ruling are unelected laws. So it's the difference here between a rule and a law. A law is something Congress has voted on. A rule is something an agency has put in place to arbitrarily say, if you don't do this, you will pay a fine. They don't have the authority to do that, full stop. The ATF doesn't have the authority to do that. The Department of Education doesn't have the authority to do that. The Department of Agriculture doesn't have the authority to do that. Rules are not laws. They are different. They are completely different, but they are right now enforced across the board as being law. The only people that can pass laws in the United States is the Congress. No one else can. Anything else is unconstitutional. That's the crazy fucking part about this. That's why Elon's been such a big harp on regulation, because companies are dying. They're dying from regulation. And don't get me wrong, there are some regulations that I believe probably are good. Like if you're trying to protect a nature reserve, you probably don't want to build a giant power plant and then offload all of the waste product that comes from that directly into the water that goes into the reserve. I believe shit like that should exist. But I also believe you shouldn't need to do a study on whether or not your rockets bursting through the atmosphere are hurting the whales in the ocean, which has happened to Elon. He's been very adamant that the reason why some of these rocket launches that he's doing are being slowed by scale production because random agencies are coming out and demanding he pay for multi-million-dollar research studies to be done to prove that, hey, we're randomly accusing you of this. You need to prove that this isn't happening, which is exactly what they're doing. So I think that was also interesting that they put this up here too, to give you a better idea of the breakdown of how many different agencies are just basically making rules as they go, and they expect you to follow every single one of them to the T. And if you get it wrong, your entire company's at risk of basically being shut down. At one point, Elon was talking about too, he's being sued by some federal agency for not having a diversity quota in SpaceX, which is a rocket company which cannot hire illegals and have to be United States citizens, basically. You couldn't hire foreign nationals. I think that's what it was. Not illegals, foreign nationals. Because they are a rocket agency, they have very strict DFAR requirements, Department of Federal Regulations. And those DFAR requirements are being met by not hiring these people, but then another agency sued them for not meeting the diversity requirements. Like, it's pretty asinine to where you can't follow all the rules because the departments start writing rules that overlap each other with no real communication between the two, and they're then arbitrarily enforced on political opponents, which only started happening once Elon started supporting Donald Trump heavily, once Elon started coming out with Twitter, once Elon finally put his foot down and said America's going in the wrong direction. But yeah, I just want to show this in case y'all hadn't seen it yet. Department of Government Efficiency.gov. It is a government website, and I'm really hoping to see this savings tab to see everything they've done. Because, I mean, I've been hearing stories, $50 million for a box of condoms that was originally for Gaza, but turns out now it's for Mozambique or some African country, which is still fucking ridiculous. $36,000 on like 20 coffee mugs, ridiculous. The amount of money the government spends shows that there's very clear corruption with the people in power paying off their friends that are suppliers or receiving government contracts. So I really want this to be as transparent as possible, and I'm very much looking forward to this. I've been kind of avoiding making a video on it because right now it's all just sort of thrown in the air of what is Elon saving money on? Well, let me pull up Twitter and see what he's tweeting about, because there's no real correlation yet. There's no database to go through to see every single department and every single thing that they've currently stopped and how much money's been saved. It's just tweets that they've been putting out of, oh, we've saved this much so far. And you can go through their Twitter account and you'll see, EPA's canceled 3 DEI contracts for $45 million. 58 cancellations, saving $150 million, including media, DEI, and consulting. There was also one, I think, the post office had that was like $15 million for watching sorting operations, and they didn't actually do anything. And I think Elon was talking about it, where he interviewed the people and asked, what have you spent this money on? And they basically said, we don't know. They spent the money. They took the money. It's been distributed into their departments, but they genuinely haven't used it for whatever purpose it was originally intended, which they don't even know the purpose it was intended. That's the crazy shit about this. This is just frivolous spending, and I think that it's really just corruption being shown to light, which is why I think a lot of Democrats are coming out full swing right now. Like, every day I see another clip from Maxwell, some black senator, old lady. She looks like she should be in a retirement home like 90% of other senators. But she's coming out saying, he's got dirt on us. We don't know what he sees. And that's basically them admitting a Freudian slip, if you will. Democrat Representative Emil Cleaver losing it, he's screaming at Elon Musk to get your musty hands off our money.
Now, I'm going to be quick because I want to send a message to somebody.
Yeah.
Elon,
Yeah.
take your musty millions and musty Moscow rights to the moon. Because if you don't, we're going to stand up, we're going to speak out, we're going to march, we're going to do anything we need to do to make sure that the people of this country understand that the CFPB is for them. You get your musty hands off of our money.
Yeah, you get your musty hands off our money. Elon Musk, which is now basically being a government employee or a government advisor, stopping tax money from being used for fraud. And you have people like this coming out saying, take your hands off our money. It's not your money. It's taxpayer money. But they treat it like it's their money to spend however they want without any real checks and balances in place to stop them from doing so. And they're in a complete uproar about it, and everyone standing in that crowd behind them is a fucking robot. They're an actual NPC. No, that's an insult to NPCs. You could probably have a better conversation with an NPC than you could with these people because they'd just be foaming at the mouth. Elon Musk, Donald Trump, he can't do that. Because that's the retardation we're dealing with here. Yeah, I just want to make this video, throw that out there. Everyone that's protesting DOGE is basically just a bunch of emotional appeals with no real logic behind any of it. And when you start asking logical questions to them, they break down, or they basically just try to throw names at you and completely ignore what you say. Him calling Elon Musk a Russian asset is probably one of the funnier insults. They did the same thing for Trump. I don't know if you remember, but that dossier that came out that said it was from the Hillary Clinton campaign that basically said Trump was a Russian asset. Hillary Clinton actually had to pay a fine on that. Yeah, she paid a campaign. She used campaign funds to try to dig up dirt on somebody, which was A, illegal, and B, they made shit up. And then they tried to send it to the FBI and try to get the FBI to verify it as true. And the FBI basically did, but Trump still won the 2016 election anyways. The Russian asset, the Russian hoax, that was the claim that Trump was a Russian asset was complete fraud. It was hoax entirely. Look it up yourself if you don't believe me. That's the funniest shit, that you have Democrats that are absolutely violating the laws and having to pay fines for it, and nothing ever happens. They just, Oh yeah, we made up complete lies. We tried to get the government agencies, the deep state, to come in and verify it. They did, and we still didn't win. Oh, that's just one case scenario. Yeah, like the 52 officials that signed the dossier to say a Hunter Biden laptop was fake, just like that. Yeah, bro, this is the deep state that's currently losing their funding. No wonder they're freaking the fuck out. Either way, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, later.